男人的十级孤单。
The 10 levels of loneliness for men. Let's see which level you have endured up to. Level 1. Eating alone. The surroundings are bustling and lively, but you are all alone and solitary. Level 2. Drinking alone to drown sorrows. The alcohol gets stronger as you drink, and your troubles are hidden deeper. Even if you pass out on the table, there is no one to help you up. Level 3. Going to the supermarket alone. You wander around not knowing what to buy, and finally leave after paying for 2 packs of instant noodles and a bottle of water. Level 4. Watching a movie alone. You deliberately choose a corner seat, and when the movie ends, you're the last one to leave. Level 5. Traveling alone. Even if you want a full-body photo, you have to trouble passers-by, and after taking it, you can't even find anyone to share it with. Level 6. Going to see the sea alone. Staring blankly at the vast ocean, clearly filled with grievances but unable to speak them out, you can only watch the waves rush to the shore time and again, and retreat time and again. Level 7. Spending holidays alone. Guarding an empty house, boiling a bowl of frozen dumplings to make do for a meal. The TV volume is on, but the more you listen, the lonelier it feels. Level 8. Moving house alone. Inside and out. You rely entirely on yourself, tired until you can't even straighten your back. Level 9. Going to the hospital alone. Running up and down the whole process by yourself, watching others accompanied by family and friends, there is an indescribable feeling in your heart. Level 10. Celebrating a birthday alone. No cake, no blessings. You just cook a bowl of longevity noodles for yourself, whisper "Happy birthday" to the noodles, and let it pass just like that. So, to you in front of the screen, which level have you reached?
22岁自信女孩
A confident 22-year-old girl went on a blind date with a muscular hunk. Everyone thought she would be swept off her feet, but unexpectedly, she found fault with him in every way. I'm quite particular about looks, and I feel your appearance is still lacking a bit. Just because the male guest's physical appearance didn't match her standards, she treated him coldly throughout the date, remaining unmoved even by a bride price of 666,800 renminbi, approximate 92,000 US dollars. The bride price in our area is usually 666,800. Compared to other girls who are extremely demanding about material conditions, this female guest seemed extremely simple. She had no sky-high demands for a bride price, but was only very concerned about physical appearance. After all, possessing what she believed to be fairy-like beauty and a petite, cute figure, she confidently thought only guys with height and looks comparable to celebrities were worthy of marrying her. She wanted to find someone tall and sturdy. Did it depend on eye affinity? This so-called eye affinity was actually not simple. The girl introduced herself as a campus queen pursued by thousands during her school days, with countless admirers. Therefore, her past boyfriends were either innocent, gentle little puppies or tall, mighty, domineering CEOs. But leaving aside her alleged beauty advantage, the increasing social pressure on aesthetics nowadays has led to increasingly strict requirements for looks when choosing a partner. Coupled with the influence of social media and movies, many people fail to form a clear perception of their own conditions. Thus, although the girl is only 1.56 meters tall, she requires her partner to be over 1.80 meters. Taller. He needs to be taller. Besides the height requirement, although she doesn't prioritize material wealth, a fully paid-for house and car are essential, and the partner's monthly income must be at least 10,000 renminbi, approximate 1,380 US dollars. Otherwise, how could he guarantee her livelihood? After the girl stated her criteria, before the date officially started, let's analyze the match between her requirements and her own conditions. The girl is 22, 1.56 m tall, currently working as a receptionist with a monthly income of 3,000 renminbi, approximate 414 US dollars. Yet she considers herself a top-tier beauty, 1 in 10,000. The male guest is 23, 1.81 m tall, has a long-term fitness habit, works as a road engineer, and earns about 8,000 renminbi, approximate 1,100 US dollars, a month. Preliminarily, the male guest conditions only partially met the girl's standards, but unexpectedly, After meeting, even his physique and looks failed to qualify. Hearing this, the male guest was astonished. He couldn't understand why. Despite being tall and muscular, he still couldn't catch the girl's eye. The girl immediately gave an explanation. Although on the surface, she only likes handsome guys, it doesn't mean she lacks specific requirements within that category. In her eyes, she is a sweet-type beauty, so she doesn't want to find a guy of the same type. While confidence can indeed bring positive feedback, lacking a clear self-perception can be counterproductive. Actually, in the male guest's view, although the girl didn't wear heavy makeup, she definitely didn't count as a beauty in the traditional sense, so he gave such an evaluation. Seeing this, the girl became extremely angry, and the tension between the two grew intense. She would never allow anyone to question her beauty, so she immediately fought back. However, external conditions aren't everything in dating. She cares more about whether her partner can give her enough security, with both material and spiritual aspects being equally important. So, to show off his boyfriend power, the male guest immediately took off his jacket to display the results of his workouts, telling the girl that with him there, she had nothing to fear, as he was the man who would protect her for lifetimes. He thought this would finally win her approval, but unexpectedly, she wasn't satisfied and even despised it. The girl's requirements contradicted each other. Her ideal type is a tall, mighty handsome guy, but she dislikes guys who work out. She hopes to gain a sense of security, but likes aggressive, domineering CEOs. It was hard to achieve a reasonable balance between the two, causing the male guest to doubt himself at one point. The male guest joked that the girl was an alien, implying he couldn't believe his physical conditions didn't fit her aesthetics. But precisely because of this, the male guest fell completely in love with her. He had always hoped to find a dominant girlfriend to plan and decide everything for him in life. Seeing his dream girl right in front of him, he immediately pursued her vigorously with this newfound attraction. Later in the date, the male guest proposed that as long as the girl was willing to marry him, he could give her a bride price of 666,800 renminbi, approximate 92,000 US dollars. But surprisingly, the girl didn't care. To her, a bride price over 300,000 renminbi, approximate 41,400 US dollars, was enough to consider marriage. And in her view, most families could afford this amount. In contrast, no matter how good the personality or how substantial the material foundation, she only cared about physical advantages. This time, the male guest was completely disheartened. The girl complained about his looks throughout the date, and after multiple attempts to pursue her, he decided not to force it anymore. But in reality, online dating shows are often scripted. From the perspective of Jean, a girl, in real life, this girl isn't considered a top-notch beauty, and the male guest conditions are more than enough to match her. Even respecting individual subjective wishes, publicly and repeatedly denying others, and failing to recognize oneself is inappropriate. Therefore, Jean suggests that everyone, whether male or female, when setting partner criteria, should first have a clear understanding of their own conditions, then make reasonable demands, and finally, it will be possible to find a partner for life. Even if you want to find a more excellent partner, self-improvement should be the primary prerequisite. This episode of Matchmaking Microscope is coming to an end. I am Jean, taking you to explore stories of matchmaking emotions. See you next time.
5年以后，大龄剩女的
5 years from now, the nightmare for older leftover women will be the desperation to get married. Do you believe it? Just this year, many girls have told their boyfriends, hurry up and gather the money, gather the bride price, let's get ready to marry. But the boys have decided to lie flat and not get married anymore. If your demands are even slightly higher than his expectations, he will just turn around and walk away. When it comes to marriage, men have self-awareness. But girls, mostly, do not look at their own conditions and only look upwards. Because the current matchmaking market has a gender imbalance. Everyone can see how many girls come out for blind dates. In major cities, the ratio is 1 to 30 or 1 to 50, exaggeratedly up to 1 to 50. Because boys know that they can't afford to marry or support older leftover women or divorcees with children. You wouldn't believe it, but look, in a few years when the post-00S generation, Gen Z, enters the marriage market, they can accept high-quality uncle-type men, but those uncles cannot accept any level leftover women. So, I think that in 5 years, there will be a significant number of older leftover women anxious to get married. Ordinary girls who don't have excessive demands won't even end up in a matchmaking market. They get married very easily. Those who do come to our matchmaking market, I'm not exaggerating at all, are all high education, high-income women with good conditions in all aspects. Every matchmaking company has many such girls registering. As for ordinary girls without excessive demands for marriage, do you think it's possible that they don't want a house, don't want a high bride price, and just want to get married because of mutual affection?
我要开始相亲了。
I'm about to start blind dating. I was born in 1990. I'm 35, a PhD, unmarried and childless, and I've worked as a flight attendant and a university lecturer. After the new year, I'll be 36, 37 in lunar age, secretly inching towards my 40s. Do you get anxious about not being married and having no children? Do you feel afraid, flustered, or sad? I do, I really do now. It's the kind where you toss and turn at night and can't sleep. When I was young, I was fed all kinds of toxic chicken soup, toxic internet advice online. My head was full of ideas like financial independence is your only backbone and remaining unmarried and childless is being sober in this world. So, I followed the trend and joined the non-marrying clan. Yes, I admit that no matter when, for us women, financial independence is indeed our backbone. But at 35, I truly regret not marrying and not having children. 35 is a hurdle. When I wanted to get married, I found that I had long missed the golden age for marriage. Even finding a normal person became a luxury. I don't dare to be picky at all now, regardless of height or appearance. As long as he has good character, no violent tendencies, a good temper, and basic earning ability. I am now going to pour all my thoughts into matchmaking. Relatives, friends, classmates, colleagues, I will use everyone I can. Stepping out to meet one more person adds a bit more opportunity and reduces a bit of the regret from impulsively following the trend back then.
你不联系女人的时候，
When you don't contact a woman, will she miss you more or forget you completely? I'm telling you, brothers, the honest truth from the bottom of my heart. Do you know why so many men, during the no-contact period, can't help but seek out the woman? Actually, I know because many fans have told me. It's not because you miss her too much, but because you are terrified she will forget you, or you are terrified this woman will go find another man. But you have to understand the female psyche is completely different from the male psyche. Sometimes the more you don't contact a woman, the easier it is for her to think of you. I'm not joking with you, nor am I trying to comfort you because Moo has been working in relationship coaching for over 10 years, and I am speaking to you based on data. So today I guarantee you, if you dare to do these two things right now, I can make this woman who is ignoring you want to find you like crazy. First, number 1, don't question, don't pester. So what is the thing many stupid men like to do the most? Saying to the girl, I love you so much, why do you ignore me? Brother, if you expect to move a woman with these words, it only proves your emotional intelligence is still in kindergarten. To put it harshly, this is the most clown-like behavior in the eyes of us women, got it? Moreover, if you use pestering and fawning to keep this woman now, you are merely lowering your own value. Even if you barely maintain the relationship later, you will have plenty of suffering ahead. Because as a woman facing this kind of man, I have only one thought: useless, spineless, cowardly. Right? I want to run when I see it. So the first thing is to keep your mindset stable. Since you cut it off thoroughly. You need to force her to reflect on her own problems, not to fawn over her, and definitely not to show weakness. If you maximize the sense of loss, the girl will naturally feel the gap. Let me tell you about this sense of loss. In relationships, it works very well, it's superb. Because this is the essence and root of why us women respect men. Most girls, after getting used to a man's kindness, will forget how important you are to her because she is used to it. She doesn't know that her life goes so smoothly and comfortably because of your existence. She will forget, you know? So at this time, ruthlessly cut off contact. Let her reflect, let her regret, let her be unaccustomed, let her be uncomfortable. When the regret phase comes, she will naturally think of your goodness. At that time, you follow Moo, we raise your value a bit, and she won't be able to resist testing you. The second thing, you must leave her hanging. Especially when a woman comes to test you, don't get excited. If she sends one sentence, don't frantically send 10. Leaving her hanging is waiting for her emotions to fluctuate, and then wearing down her arrogance. You have to be a firefighter, understand? Here is a sentence with a very high success rate for anxious brothers. But you have to pay attention, you have to find the right time to return. You just say, I know I still miss you, but I will control myself not to look for you. It's not that you are not important in my heart, but I feel that I am not important to you. If I'm not important, I've figured it out now, it doesn't matter. I'll leave that spot empty for someone else. I tell you, as long as you have been good to this woman, as long as you have given her value, basically no girl can withstand this. Because this kind of statement pulls her sense of crisis and sense of loss to the max. So next, let's not be enthusiastic, okay? Naturally wait for her to pester you. If some brothers really have low emotional intelligence and don't know what to do, feeling like, I'm just silly, my emotional intelligence is in kindergarten, then what to do? Isn't Moo here for you?
也漂亮的。
谢谢。
多大了？
You're pretty. Thank you. How old are you? I was born in 99, so I'm 26 this year. Wow, where are you from? I'm from Anhui. What about your education? I have a master's degree. What do you do in Hangzhou? I work in finance at a central state-owned enterprise, SOE, with an annual salary of about 120,000 renminbi, approximate 16,500 US dollars. Are you an only child? I have a younger sister. Oh, then theoretically speaking, being an older sister with a sibling, you would be relatively more considerate, gentle, and good at taking care of others, right? Yes, that's right. Can you cook? Yes. I was abroad for a while before, and I learned to cook by myself. Did you do your master's abroad? Yes. So what are your requirements for a partner? Just a good person, generous, humorous, and mainly it depends on the feeling. Depends on the feeling? Yes. One depends on affinity, the other on feeling. This feeling thing is quite difficult. Is where he is from important? It depends on how we get along. I think being closer to my home is better. Somewhere around the Jiangsu Hanhui region. And what about the guy's height? Over 175 centimeters. The age gap shouldn't be too big, within 5 years older than me. Do you view owning a house as important? Since you already have a house yourself, do you require the guy's assets to be much higher? About the same as me is fine. Oh right. What about his income level? Income level, I don't have huge requirements. As long as he is stable and doesn't have any loans, then it's all. And education? For education, a bachelor's degree is fine. Bachelor's is fine? Yes. So, what do you think is the main reason why there are so many single people nowadays? Probably aiming too high but achieving too little, being too picky. Yes, it's that they might want too much but have too little to offer. Want too much. Yes. That makes it hard. Yes. Do you think your requirements are high? I don't think my requirements are high, but I feel that meeting someone sincere. To be honest, in this day and age, a beautiful appearance is far less important than a sincere heart. Yes, I think sincerity is the most important thing. In this society, meeting someone you can chat with, the right person, is a very difficult thing. Which country were you in? The UK. In the UK? I guessed it was the UK, it fits your style. It's quite nice. So you did your undergraduate studies domestically, and your master's in the UK for 2 years. Yes. How is your family's financial situation? It's okay. When I was in school, my parents bought a house for me. Oh, what do your parents do? My dad is a teacher and my mom runs a business. Oh, no wonder. I'm actually not saying it has to be a strictly 1:1 match. I think a bit lower than me is okay. I think the most important thing for two people is to be happy together. That's paramount. But the gap shouldn't be too big. Right, if the gap is too big, there will be conflicts. I'm not saying I must find that kind. Yes, I'm just afraid there would be a lot of conflicts. Okay, wish you get a partner soon.
我现在36了。
I am 36 years old now, and those around me who are married basically all have houses and cars. Even if they were born in rural areas and their parents couldn't offer any financial support, and even if they were penniless and had nothing when they first entered society in their early 20s, after getting married, the couple worked hard together for about 10 years, and now they have everything. because the cost of getting married isn't as high as you imagine. Take housing, for example. Looking at housing prices in my hometown, over 100,000 yuan, approximate $18,000 to $25,000 USD, can buy a decent place. As for cars, driving a new energy vehicle worth over 100,000 yuan, approximate $14,000 to $16,000 USD, is both comfortable and worry-free. It doesn't cost that much. Two people working hard together can clearly live a very good life. I don't know, and I don't understand, why I had such a deep obsession when I was young, feeling that I must have a house and a car before I was worthy of dating, or that I must have a certain amount of money before I was worthy of marriage. This kind of thinking has really made me suffer. Why didn't I find a boy with good character to strive together with when I was young? I can achieve everything by struggling alone, so the power of two people would only be greater. Maybe I could have even gained a happy family. I hope you take me as a warning.
咱们很多男生都会面临一个
Many of us guys face a very, very big confusion, which is that girls often use asking for money or gifts to test your sincerity. She says to you, "Who says I'm testing your sincerity? You won't even buy me this little thing, you don't like me. Basically, you just don't like me. What's wrong with me asking for this little bit of money? In the end, you just don't like me." Everyone is extremely confused about this issue, and you are suffering because of it. I know, and today I must explain this thoroughly. I tell you, when a girl tests your sincerity, she is indeed testing your sincerity. But do you know what this sincerity refers to? This sincerity refers to whether you are sincerely willing to be my provider. Got it? She is testing whether you really want to be her provider. She is just looking for a provider, and she asks you for things to test if you genuinely want to fill that role. It is not that she is testing your sincerity about wanting to be her boyfriend. No. She wants to test if you are sincerely willing to be her provider. Just like our relationship with our parents, parents are our providers. Parents love us, give us things, feed us, and sacrifice everything for us. But this kind of provider role should not exist between a man and a woman in a romantic relationship. That is a parent-child relationship. So, if your girlfriend constantly wants to test if you sincerely want to be her provider, what does that prove? Proves that this woman is incredibly weak. Hold on, she is just a child looking for parents. She is terribly weak, inherently weak. Either her ability to earn money is weak, her general capabilities are weak, or her mental strength is weak. In short, she is an incredibly weak person. We cannot make friends with such weak people, we cannot date such weaklings, and we cannot marry weaklings. If you date her, if you marry her, you will definitely be dragged down, you will definitely be pulled down. If you act as the provider indefinitely, the mode of interaction between you two in the future will actually be like this. You constantly give her things, constantly love her, and then she won't appreciate it, she will still throw tantrums. This is just like the parent-child relationship where parents constantly love the child, give to the child, give them lots of money, support them in every way, and in the end it turns out to be nothing, the child still throws tantrums, the child turns out to be good for nothing. The child will even turn around and blame the parents. Look, you didn't love me back then. Why did you leave me in the hometown when I was little? Anyway, it's all blame. Do you understand? This is the provider role. Being a provider inevitably leads to such an ending. So when she keeps asking you for money, she is testing you, you old boy, to see if you can be a provider. What she wants to pick is a provider. She is choosing you to see if you have the heart to be her provider. Even if you pass the test and prove you sincerely want to be a provider, you are doomed eternally. So if you meet this kind of person who wants to test you, who wants to test your sincerity, tell her to get lost. Tell her to beat it. Go find someone else to be your parent. I'm not going to be anyone's parent. And the story of the two of you ends there.
别当免费保姆啦。
Stop being free nannies. Just go hang a sign and open for business. Putting a clear price tag on yourselves and selling it in the market would seem more noble than what you are doing now. At least those professionals take money to do a job and provide emotional value. Men would wish for you all to hang a sign for business. At least then they could be treated like lords instead of being suckers. They would rather spend money to buy happiness than spend money to bring an ancestor home to serve. You want to be a whore but also want a monument for chastity, saying this is already going easy on you. In the past, rape was committed by strangers. Now it's boyfriends, fiancés, and even officially licensed husbands who can be accused of rape. What do you take marriage for? Licensed robbery? You spend all day using the guise of marriage to demand security, but security in marriage is a two-way street. While asking men for security, what kind of security do you bring to men? Can you guarantee your virginity? Can you be thrifty in managing the household and show filial piety to parents-in-law? Can you be law-abiding and supportive of your husband and children? For marriage, you demand the man prepare a car, a house, a bride price, 3 golds jewelry, an engagement banquet, a change of address fee, money for calling in-laws mom and dad, a fee for getting into the bridal car, a fee for getting off the bridal car, and even some milk money. Truly, there is new news every year, but the internet has an abundance of it. I have never attacked normal women. What I attack is this cancer of capitalism, this toxic chicken soup that destroys our national traditions. Under the guise of marriage, all sorts of commercial marriages and marriage scams are happening. Feminism is spreading unchecked, infecting one person after another. This trend has corrupted so many innocent, good women in rural areas, destroyed so many families, and left so many children growing up without a father or mother. There is a saying, birds die for food, and if people don't court death, they won't die. If heaven acts, there will be rain. If people act recklessly, there will be disaster. Karma cycles and heaven spares no one. Feminism will eventually be the death of women themselves.
为什么男生都不愿意去相亲了？
Why aren't guys willing to go on blind dates anymore? Look at the matchmaking market now. How many normal girls are left? Either she's aiming to strip your assets to pay off her debts, or she's played around enough and wants to find someone to pick up the pieces, a simp. She demands you have a house, a car, be handsome, and asks for a bride price of 180,000 renminbi, approximate 24,800 US dollars. As for normal girls, they never even think about going on blind dates because they simply don't lack options. But the treatment for guys is different. Unless a guy is at least a 6 or 7 out of 10 in looks, it's hard for him to gain favor from the opposite sex. So if a guy comes to a blind date, he understands value exchange very well. He knows exactly how much capability he has. He thinks, I'm going to find a girl of equal social standing to live a good life with. He will genuinely look at whether the girl has good character and values, and whether she is truly kind and loyal. But look at what girls focus on. Let me just say one thing. If you go on a blind date without a house or a car, you're just looking to humiliate yourself. No matter how good a person you are, or how much you brag, everything is a non-starter. I don't know if you've seen a video where a male blogger with over 10 million followers went to a matchmaking corner to find a partner. He explained clearly who he was, his character, personality, and hobbies, standing 1.80 m tall and being a nice guy. But the only thing he didn't mention was that he had 10 million followers. The result was that no one gave a damn about him. From this incident, you can see why men don't want to go on blind dates anymore. What is going on in the heads of those girls who come to blind dates? Basically, none of them are coming with the intention of living a good life with you. Those older girls get some plastic surgery, put on some makeup, and think they're amazing, thinking, I look down on everyone, I want to marry up socially. So I say, ordinary guys shouldn't go on blind dates. Don't get involved with those people. If you go on a blind date, there's a high probability you'll be eaten dry and wiped clean, squeezed until there's not a drop left. But guys, you don't need to be anxious about finding a partner. The ones who are anxious about this are definitely those older girls. Many girls shout when they are young, I won't get married, I won't have children, I don't look up to anyone, feeling like they're the most sober main character in the world. But wait until they are 30 or 35, wait until they truly participate in social competition and truly realize, turns out money is so hard to earn, turns out I don't have that much ability to live my life well on my own. Look at them, then, and see if they are anxious. So my advice to brothers is, guys, don't rush to get married in these few years. Save money and build your career. If you want to date, adjust your image and mindset properly. Make yourself sunnier, emotionally stable, and more handsome. I don't care about rotten people or rotten things, and I don't worry about them. I just strive to love myself well. Later, you'll find that once you are excellent and know how to love yourself, if you want to get married, you will have plenty of young, beautiful, and obedient girls to choose from.
有的人他是真的没有过好日子命。
She truly doesn't have the destiny to live a good life. But honestly, as a matchmaker for so many years, as long as I accept a member, if the young girl is under 30, her EQ isn't terribly low, and her family doesn't cause too much drama. I can introduce her to someone with better conditions than hers, but she just isn't blessed enough to enjoy it. This young girl has a college degree, associate, works in a private company, earning 3,500 yuan a month, approximate 490 US dollars. She was born in 1998 in a rural area surrounding Shijiazhuang and has a younger brother. To be objective, the girl looks really ordinary, not tall, and her eyes aren't big. With these conditions, in the entire Shijiazhuang dating market, she really doesn't have an advantage. I introduced her to a male member from my own network. This guy is also born in 1998, has a high school education, served in the army before, and now works in a private company. His family has 3 properties due to the demolition and relocation of an urban village. He told me, "Sis, the bride price is around 100,000 yuan, approximate 14,000 US dollars. Because I've been in this industry for a long time, as soon as I see a rural background with a younger brother, I get scared." Then the guy said, 100,000-ish is no problem, sis. So I introduced them. After the introduction, they actually started dating. They were together for half a year and started discussing marriage. The girl's parents directly demanded that his family pay 188,000 yuan, approximate 26,300 US dollars, and the 5 gold jewelry set was not included in this amount. They also required the man to buy a car. The young man discussed with his parents, saying, "We can buy our car in the future. The family can provide at most 128,000 yuan, approximate 17,900 US dollars, for the bride price, and buying the 5 golds on top of that is no problem." The girl's side immediately disagreed after hearing this. I had no choice but to call the girl's mother to communicate. I talked for over an hour. I said, "Your daughter clearly told me back then it would be around 100,000, approximate 14,000 US dollars, but they wouldn't admit it." Then I analyzed it for her, saying, "Look how good his conditions are, right?" And I envisioned her daughter's happy future life. She simply wouldn't listen to what I was saying. There wasn't a single sentence where I could get through to her. She angered me half to death. She wouldn't budge a single cent, insisting it must be 188,000, and there would be no dowry brought back, nothing. At that moment, I even had the urge to go to her village to find her. The girl said she was willing. The boy was indeed very good to her, taking her everywhere to eat and travel, and was willing to spend money on her. Although this guy wasn't very smooth with words, he was truly a solid person. I wanted to tell the girl, "Go communicate with your parents." In the end, the girl said she still had to listen to her parents. Finally, seeing the girl's family's attitude was so tough, the boy's parents got angry too. They felt, "My son isn't bad either, right? He has height, he has a job. Why should we, with family conditions much better than theirs, put up with this? Marry if you want, don't if you don't." Since then, they stopped responding to this matter. During this period, we couldn't contact the girl either. She blocked me, and I couldn't get through to her parents' phone. I helplessly watched a couple that could have made it break up. Later, the guy said the girl's side regretted it and said they could agree to 128,000 plus the 5 golds. But then they pulled another stunt, demanding an additional 30,000 yuan, approximate 4,200 US dollars, as a getting off the bridal car gift. The guy hung up immediately upon hearing this and blocked her directly. Later, since I couldn't continue introducing for him with her, I introduced him to a local girl. Although this girl didn't have a high education, she had a good personality and was about 168 centimeters tall. They were quite satisfied after meeting. Now they have already met each other's parents. Everything went incredibly smoothly, and they are just waiting to get married. Through this incident, I just want to nag a bit more. If you really love your children, let's take a long-term view. His family background is better than ours, and the boy is sincere to our daughter. If it's close enough, just happily get married and be done with it. You say it's about attitude, but don't make it sound so nice. Attitude doesn't take the blame for this. In reality, Isn't it just about wanting money? You are still stuck in those village mentalities from years ago, not thinking about sending your daughter to live a better life, but rather thinking about how to maximize profit through your daughter.
你们家有生产珍珠吗？
Does your family produce pearls? We don't produce pearls, but our family produces socks. Is the information you provided true? It is true. Can I upload this to the media? Yes, you can. You must be quite young. Born around 2000? Yes, the year 2000. You are the third Gen Z interviewee I've had today. Look at those who came to Wansong Academy, coming here personally for matchmaking. They're all girls born around 2000. Where are you from? Zhuji, Shaoxing. Zhuji produces pearls, right? Yes. Does your family produce pearls? We don't produce pearls, but our family produces socks. Is the factory very big? Not particularly big, it's small. What do you do in Hangzhou now? I'm not in Hangzhou right now. I'm in Xinjiang. What do you do? I'm an elementary school teacher. What did I just say? I felt you were either a head nurse or a teacher, you know? What is your approximate annual income? Around 150,000, approximate 20,700 US dollars. You must be tenured, have a BNG, right? It's not a public school, so tenure doesn't apply. Are you an only child? I have a younger sister. Your sister is still in school, right? Yes, she is in college. What kind of partner are you looking for? Someone a bit taller, good looking. I care quite a bit about looks, right? Are looks that important? It will affect the next generation. Then they will be very beautiful. I think if the partner is handsome, the children will be very good looking. How tall are you? 165 centimeters. How tall do you hope he is? I hope he is around 180 centimeters. Do you think it's easy for you to find a partner? It probably won't be easy. What is the reason it's not easy? Because I don't go out much, and my social circle is quite narrow. Have you ever thought that finding a partner is also very important, perhaps even more important than the college entrance exam or finding a job? Indeed, it is. So, have you thought about taking action for this? That's why I came here today. What do you usually do? Just stay cooped up at home, though I do travel sometimes. Do you think a bride price is a must for women when getting married? That shouldn't be definite. Everyone's conditions are different. Should women manage the money in the future? It depends on the abilities of both people. I think whoever is suitable to manage the money should manage it. Okay, thank you.
我偷偷瞒着老公呢，给我弟弟
I secretly hid it from my husband and lent my younger brother 200,000 renminbi, approximately 27,600 US dollars, to buy a house. As a result, after my husband found out, he didn't quarrel with me or make a scene. However, just during dinner last night, my husband very calmly said to me, "Let's get a divorce." I was completely stunned at that moment. I was holding my chopsticks with food, eyes wide open, staring blankly at him, unable to believe those were his words. I had never even imagined he would divorce me. My heart skipped a beat, and all sorts of complex emotions flooded my mind at once. Forcing my voice, which was trembling uncontrollably, I asked him, "What did you say? Why on earth do you want a divorce?" His eyes were full of disappointment. He said he was tired, weary, and didn't want to go on like this anymore. I was both shocked and angry at the time. I shouted directly at him, "Are you out of your mind? We have a good life. Why are you making a fuss for no reason? Just because you're weary and tired, you want a divorce? What kind of reason is that? I can't accept it." But with a calm face, he told me, "In your heart, your birth family always comes first. You have never considered me and the child. I feel like we are outsiders, always ignored by you." Hearing this, I suddenly panicked. I quickly grabbed his hand and said anxiously, "Husband, is it because I secretly lent my brother money to buy the house? I know I was wrong. I shouldn't have made a decision on my own without discussing it with you. From now on, no matter what it is, I will definitely discuss it with you first." But my husband was unmoved. He shook his head and said, "It's too late. After disappointment upon disappointment, my heart is completely dead." I got even more anxious and hurriedly said, "Then I'll go get the money back right now. Will that be okay? You can't leave me. The child is so big now. How can we just divorce like that?" As a result, he directly threw off my hand, slammed the door, and left. I stood there foolishly alone, and tears instantly poured down. In the days that followed, my mind was full of self-blame and pain, thinking of ways to win him back every day. I constantly explained and apologized to him, promising that I would definitely change in the future. But my husband was like iron. He completely ignored my efforts. My brother felt extremely guilty when he found out about this. He brought the house keys back to me and said, "Sis, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I didn't expect to cause you such big trouble. Go find my brother-in-law quickly." Holding the house keys, I felt they weighed 1,000 pounds. My heart felt heavy, and I could barely hold them steady. I calmed down and thought about the events of these years, and I had to admit that I had indeed neglected my husband. I always felt that since we were family, he would definitely understand me, but I never thought that my actions made him suffer so much. Family, please give me some ideas. What on earth should I do? What can I do to win back my husband's heart?
We have just journeyed through the multicolored fragments of modern social relationships. From the 10 levels of loneliness endured by men, the belated tears of women who miss their prime, to the pragmatic bargaining over bride prices, all of these stories leave us with a deep, lingering note of reflection. My dear friends, the most significant lesson that Chinese emotion wants to convey to you today is this: do not let the mirage of unrealistic standards obscure the value of sincerity. We see young women chasing after the illusion of a CEO, partner, or sky-high bride prices, forgetting that beauty fades, but a partner willing to share a bowl of instant noodles with you during hard times is priceless. We also see men retreating into their shells due to the pressure of being solely providers, resulting in both sides passing each other by with regret. True happiness is not found in finding someone who already possesses a luxury house and car, but in finding someone with enough patience and love to build all of that with you. Do not wait until you are 35 or 40, surrounded by loneliness, to realize that you missed out on the best people simply because of an inflated ego or frivolous material demands. Take a look at yourself, lower those unrealistic expectations, and learn to cherish the person who is treating you well right now. Love is a two-way street of cultivation, not a business transaction. Love while you still can, and live realistically so you never have to say, "What if?" Thank you for listening to these real-life stories here at Chinese Emotion. Please subscribe to the channel so we can understand more and grow together in love every single day.